A confidence boost for the Golden Knights in the final preseason home game last night as they rally back from 3 goals down. They beat the Avalanche 4-3. Despite all of these injuries, the injury bug has hit VGK. We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel that is Locked On Golden Knights. We appreciate everything that all of you do out there. And we're just rocking and rolling. And hopefully, man, this preseason has lasted forever, Chris. And we'll recap the game from last night. VGK, the come from behind victory. And I thought that was a good W in the preseason. But let's first of all talk about the injury bug and the injuries for VGK. We sort of alluded to this yesterday. There could be some other injuries. Who knows? Preseason is just lingering too long. And speaking of lingering, there are lingering injuries currently for William Karlsson and now Alec Martinez. And yesterday as well, Zach Whitecloud. He underwent surgery, and he's going to be out. He's listed as week to week, which on the Golicometer means that he'll be out for several weeks, correct? Should there be any concern?
Over. I'll take the over on several weeks for 500, Tony.
Weeks to weeks, you think? Yeah?
Months. So Cassidy was asked about this in the post-game presser last night. And his response, we're calling it week to week for now.
Oof.
There's been reports that it might be significantly greater than that. Cassidy did mention he took a hit in the first Colorado game on the boards, kind of like motioned by his hand a little bit, so something going on there. And it's interesting because there were some reports that Whitecloud had a hand injury in the last Stanley Cup clinching game 5 this past season too. So you wonder if that was fully healed or not and what's going on there. So who knows here, but yeah, the injury bug, it's October the 5th, technically October the 6th now. And all these injuries are popping up. This is this might make a WTF. I got a feeling.
And Alec Martinez, that was an injury that we didn't hear. It wasn't on our radar. We didn't hear much about anything. There's going to be nagging injuries, at this part of the preseason. Definitely too long. It is. Their preseason is really long. It didn't seem this way in the past, but right now, you just want it to end. You don't want to play that extra game.
Yeah, I mean, Saturday's game, we're not going to get too deep into that, but we'll have some importance. But I'm with you. I think everyone would rather just turn the lights off and hang in Vegas for a couple of nights. And then all of a sudden, all sorts of fun happening next week with the Golden Knights, right?
Yeah. I was, last night, I was really prepared for the 18-round shootout. I think I tweeted you out there. VGK came back.
People are tweeting you out about that.
With a minute 17 to go, Paul Cotter goes to the net and scores the goal. That entire sequence, the guy that always gets concussions in Bo Byram just gets rocked. He got rocked against the boards, and that was just one of those sequences that wins you a job in the National Hockey League. It really was.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back a couple of games. The game against the Sharks, Cassidy did single out Cotter as attempting to have an influence in the game, playing that physical game, finishing all the checks and everything. And then obviously Cotter factored heavily into the decision on Thursday nights. And these are the things that get your teammates, pounding the boards and getting excited and able to turn it on, so to speak, and always be able to, like any shift, Cotter can have an influence on the game. Something else that Cassidy did mention, he's seeing a lot more or less Carrier and Kolesar with the ability to do that, whereas a player like Dorofeev and younger players, but not Cotter, sometimes it takes them a minute to kind of get going. But Cotter's always going to have that gear, and it looks like there's a reasonable shot that Cotter is at least ahead of Dorofeev in the pecking order. But depending on your favorite, on your BFF's injury, William Karlsson, you might see both of them in the lineup on Tuesday night when the banner gets raised.
Well, Karlsson, we just have to be concerned about his preseason Ironman streak, being intact. Karlsson actually played every game last season. He did. He's got his own Ironman streak going. So he played in every game, all 82. I'll give him credit.
Lower back injury due to a falling downstairs in the what if 15 years from now Karlsson has like a tell-all book or something, and that's like what happened?
It could happen. We saw the Nick Waugh goal from Alex Pietrangelo and from Ivan Barbashev, who just makes things happen. I think he might be my favorite player right now, just on the gritty index alone.
Barbashev's going like at 60% right now too. Like he's getting his minutes, but he's not. We're not seeing the great Ivan Barbashev yet. There you go.
We saw the Amadio face-off win, and nice. The quickest release that you'll ever see by Pavs or whatever they call them.
Pav. I think it's just one singular Pav.
Then I'll call them Pavs because I have to be unique. And Dorofeev, the turnaround wrist, I just have to be different. So that was phenomenal. The quick wrist goal that he got past Georgiev, and then we also saw the Theodore shot that was deflected by Jonathan Marchessault. And Marchessault was literally, if you watch that sequence there, he's calling for the puck in front of the net. Just like, put it on net, and I'll just tip it in.
It was nice to see the comeback. It was fun. It was exciting. And, it was kind of a nothing game, and you're looking for storylines as the game is kind of going on. Listen, in the regular season, does this comeback happen like this? I don't know. Also, to be fair, do the Golden Knights maybe fall that far behind in a regular season game? I don't know about that either, but the Avs certainly, they kind of took their foot off the gas a little bit. And what I mean when I say that is it's a preseason game. It counts for absolutely nothing. Sure, they want to win the game, and McKinnon and Makar had a huge influence on the game last night, as you expect that they would. But I also compare that to the Golden Knights preseason, right? Think about the last games they played, the pressure of the playoffs, the Stanley Cup final. And then all of a sudden you got these preseason games that mean absolutely nothing. The stands are 3/4 full, or San Jose 10% full. No one's there, so the Golden Knights get a little bit, I think, cut a little bit of slack for their preseason efforts, right? You look at just everything in a vacuum. And when the Golden Knights decided they were going to play as a unit and everyone was going to put in about a 75% effort in that third period, you saw what the team is also capable of. And I guess all of us up in Media Row were thankful that they got it done in regulation and didn't need a shootout or a 14-round overtime.
Oh, my goodness. That would have been awful. In the presser earlier in the day, it was things have really been sorted out now, I believe, and the same with you, with the lineup and who's going to play. I have a feeling, okay, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I just have a feeling that McCrimmon says to Cassidy, take this Comtois guy and do something with him. It doesn't appear as though Cassidy is a fan. And he was pretty adamant yesterday in the pregame presser, Cassidy, in saying, okay, tonight, no Comtois, no Brisson, no Bryson or whatever he calls him. Brisson. He was adamant, right? He just said they're not going to play tonight. That was it, done.
Honestly, it would not surprise me if this is the exact opening night lineup. Of course, Whitecloud's out of the picture for a long time. Let's just understand that right now. Martinez and Karlsson, of course, it would be nice if they do draw in the Tuesday night's game.
Keep the Iron Man streak alive for Willie.
If for some reason they're both injured, I think this is going to be how they're going to break camp and at least start the games next week. And I mean, there was moments, right? The top line is still intact. Eichel was generating some looks and some opportunities.
And doesn't shoot enough. I know.
No, and their first power play was awful. That was the theme I wanted to hit. I
Okay.
hit March's so good.
Yeah, no, the power play. We'll get to that right now because Cassidy said yesterday, earlier on, he wants more movement away from the puck, and there could not have been any less movement in that first power play opportunity where Theodore had a turnover, Eichel had a turnover, and no one was moving. They just were stationary, but the power play did pick up as the evening progressed, correct?
Sure, but I mean, okay, I did ask Cassidy and March's so both, and their answers were very similar. It was along the lines of pros and cons about the power play go. And March's so didn't really get a whole lot of pros in there, which is fair. Cassidy mentioned he liked the second and third power plays, etc. First one, not good enough, not enough movement. So first power play, not good. That's my official analysis. The next power plays that the Golden Knights had, I believe, or at least there was a sequence later in the game where they basically had back-to-back power plays. The only time there was really good puck movement happening is when they were on the 6-on-4 portion of the power play because there was
Right.
about 25 seconds left in the first power play. Colorado player takes a penalty, and Thompson gets out of the nets. And the Golden Knights actually had some really good stuff happening in a 6-on-4. And they were able to basically take it into, so they got a full 2 minutes on the next power play on the advantage. But now you got a tired PK units out there. And the Golden Knights almost took advantage. They got some really good grade A looks. They got, I think, about four. I think I tweeted out they got 4 grade A looks in about a 45-second window. So credit the Golden Knights for taking advantage of the situation. But I don't think they had a singular clean power play that wasn't attached to something else, like the 6-on-4 puck movement, or basically a double minor is the easiest way to explain the perspective I'm trying to offer right now. So fine, moral victory. I guess they did move the puck a little bit better. And if there's a plus side, we know the Golden Knights are capable of winning the Stanley Cup with the 18th best power play in the NHL. It only takes 8 to 12 more goals to elevate yourself from the 18th best power play to the 6th best power play. It would be nice if they can at least get in that top third, the top 10 of this season, and take a little bit of pressure off of the 5v5 play.
All right. Before we close the book on yesterday's preseason win, Logan Thompson, let's talk about him. He started off really slow, not his best performance, played a little bit better as the game progressed. He never saw the shot on goal by Nathan MacKinnon, but that's kind of hard to stop anyway. That was from the left circle. And
He
then
should have stopped that one. He should have stopped that one.
Yeah. And then he gave up the Nikushkin goal off of the Girard shot. And that it was, watching that replay a few times, Jack Eichel just didn't know lay. In the regular season, he might step in front of the puck. He just would know.
There was a couple of times where I thought the players offered a little bit of a professional preseason courtesy on both sides of the game.
You have to. Come on.
Yeah.
Like you have
Besides
to.
Cotter, though. Cotter mentioned he had Cotter's always a great soundbite. He mentioned in his post game that someone got him early on and Cotter labeled him in the third period and made sure to get his number. And he went, to quote Cotter, he went all Mach 4 on the guy. And then someone else, I don't know if it was Vince or who asked him, but someone said, what is Mach 5? And Cotter just, Cotter's always a good time to talk to. But back to Logan Thompson. I don't remember the order of the goals, but the MacKinnon goal you did mention. Sure, it's a one-timer from the circle. MacKinnon's one of the best players in the world. Fine, whatever. But when the goalie sees the shots, and it wasn't like a rocket pass across the crease either. Like Thompson tracked the puck and just missed it. That's a save that he wishes he would have had. And then there was a rebound that he gave up just in a real high danger area. Thought he had the puck, and then boom, tapped in, and it was. Thompson had some pockets, so he had some good moments. There was a 3-on-1, really good mobility going from across the crease and stuff like that. As the game went on, like you said, Tony, he did better. And I'm not knocking Logan. It's still a preseason. It's a preseason for the goalies. Aiden does feel a little bit farther along, but again, we're talking about Logan Thompson, who played basically 4 periods of hockey in February. maybe even less than that, and then didn't play all summer long besides practices and stuff like that. So it's going to take Logan a little bit of time, maybe get up to game speed, but he's going to be just fine as long as Aiden continues to play the way he did in the preseason.
VGK closes out the preseason on Saturday. Are we going to see some more rough stuff and hostility between VGK and the Kings? We'll talk about that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you by Birddogs today. Birddogs make you look good. Birddogs stretch khaki shorts are designed to fit slimmer through the thigh, through the leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Birddog shorts do the same exact thing as Lululemon, but they fit much better, and they fit way better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff, restricting cotton. They have something that they have invented, and it's cloud knit fabric that makes you look good, and it feels like khaki, but it stretches so that you have a much slimmer fit without having to sacrifice any movement. And right now, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL and enter the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free white tech hat with your order. That's birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. Use the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free white tech hat. You won't want to take your bird dogs off. We promise you. Welcome back. Locked On Golden Knights. It is Friday, and we're going into the weekend and coming up shortly. WTF, what the Friday? That Birddogs promo still up there on the screen.
Yeah. They're in my ear right now. They said give me a few extra seconds. So 3.
Okay, no, it's all good.
1. Okay, we're good now.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Oh,
I got a call from above. I got a call from above there.
From above. So the last time VGK and the Kings played in the preseason, we had that memorable check on Mark Stone by Hayden Hodgson. Are we going to see any carryover?
He got waived. Waivers.
He got waived, yes. And so
he's not that good of a player.
Is he coming back? Will he be back just for this one game only?
Oh God, that'd be pretty funny, actually. I mean, let's talk about the Golden Knights, I guess. Cassidy did mention throughout the week that they might roll a similar lineup when the team travels to LA on Saturday for an afternoon matinee. The team does have a practice today, Friday at City at 11:30 in the morning. I actually might head down there today and check that out. I'm kind of curious to see what Cassidy might have to say, and if the plan is still to continue, to play a similar line game over game. Personally, I would rather them shut the book on all the players that are comfortably in this lineup and put as much of the Henderson Silver Knights in there as possible, whatever the rules allow, minus the veteran minimum, all that fun stuff and everything. Besides players competing for a spot. So, Cotter, Dorofeev, Comtois is definitely playing in this game. I think that's all but given at this point, unless Cassie just does decide to make this another dress rehearsal. But I don't think the Golden Knights need another dress rehearsal, honestly.
No.
They had a good comeback. Everyone got out of that game healthy that we know of. Don't risk anything in this last game on Saturday, because veteran roster, they know what to do. They know how to turn it on and win when it matters. What more are they possibly going to get out of this Saturday matinee game in LA? Not much, besides more about roster competition and camp battles and the defensive side, right? I mean, we really haven't even talked a whole lot about replacements for Whitecloud here.
Pahal looked good.
Yeah, but you got Pahal, you got Korczak, you got Ben Hutton.
Is Korczak hurt?
Is Korczak? No, Korczak's fine. He's out there.
Are you sure he didn't sneak in an injury?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me.
I don't know his pet names.
I don't know. Coors Light. There you go. I don't know.
Coors Light.
So maybe if Korczak doesn't hit hard, maybe that'll be his nickname. We don't want that. We want the leaded version. So who's going to replace? And that was lightly touched on in last night's presser as well. And Cassie just listed every basically defenseman that's available. So the battle is really Pahal and Korczak, and it just seems that Pahal is a little bit ahead as far as Korczak goes. And I think Ben Hutton, he's still going to be in that 7th role unless a left-handed shot goes down or something like that.
So VGK, do they play pretty much start of the season 11-7, or what does
Stop
that
it.
structure?
We're not doing 11-7. You stop it. No 11-7. No 11-7.
How about the Kings? I think that they, on the power play, was it the Kings last night? I think that they played all forwards and no defensemen on the power play. That's pretty
fun.
interesting look.
That's
Yeah.
fun. That's fun.
I wonder if
Preseason.
that'll stick. Yeah, I wonder if that'll stick during the course of the regular season. Last night they did play the Frozen Fury. I went back to those games. I used to go to those games at MGM, and I was at the outdoor game that they played here at Caesar's Palace with all the grasshoppers,
all the
and
bugs on the ice, all the bugs.
It was grasshopper mania. It was disgusting.
It's awesome.
And the ice was almost as good as it's been over there at T-Mobile. And last night the ice was just horrible. Bad ice.
Fine last night.
When they were losing, the bad ice here at T-Mobile. Okay.
I might watch the replay. I bet they didn't say that once.
No, they didn't say that. I said that. Pierre-Luc Dubois from Kevin Fiala in Salt Lake City last night. Anze Kopitar scored a goal. Adrian Kempe had a goal in that game as well. And yeah, it's time for VGK to throttle down. It's more about the Golden Knights than it is about playing the Kings. Just get through it as healthy as you possibly can, and see some good things. I think Comtois will be cut. You have to cut down the roster by Monday, right? Monday,
or a two-way deal, but yeah.
Or a two-way deal, which I don't know. I'm not quite sure, but so I don't know. Monday they have to have the roster down to the 23. So I don't think there's going to be any surprise. I think Brisson now goes down to the minors.
Yeah, Brisson's going down unless there's another injury. Comtois, you wonder what the conversation was coming into camp, right? Was there a conversation about, listen, it's going to be tough for you to make this roster. Without some injuries, it's not impossible for you to make the roster, but it's just unlikely given the waiver situations, given the contracts, everything that's going on, how close the team is to the salary cap. So if you if you are willing to if you're willing to get through the preseason, show us what you can, and then take a two-way deal and see what happens. Like, I'm really curious if a conversation like that took place, because if Comtois does end up signing some type of two-way contract, I think that's going to tell you a lot about his desire to be a Golden Knight and the fact that he's willing to take a slight step backwards to be a part of last year's championship roster. And Comtois, like everybody, knows what's going to happen, not just with the Golden Knights, but with teams all across the NHL. There's going to be injuries. Injuries mean opportunity. And back to injuries, I'm with you. Get through this game against LA on Saturday. Play the bare minimum veterans you can to ice the proper roster. Those competing for spots, get them out there, see if they can have an influence on the game. And then, the Golden Knights start their merry-go-round of media and everything they're going to be doing all week long.
Coming up next, it's What the Friday with some of your comments. Stay tuned. That comes up next right here on Locked On Golden Knights. When you are drafting your fantasy team, do you ever wish that you could do the same thing with your business team? If you're building a roster to win the league, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you could do it all right there on Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. Candidates that you invite to apply through Instant Match are 3 times more likely to apply to your job than candidates who only see it in the search, according to U.S. Indeed data. Indeed does the hard work for you. Sponsor a job, and boom, Instant Match shows you and your candidates. You like that, right? Boom. Yeah. Shows you candidates whose resumes on Indeed fit the job description immediately after after you post it. And then with Instant Match, you can start hiring very fast. Indeed knows hiring needs, and it has to be very much cost effective, especially when you run your own business. Visit Indeed.com/lockedon to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon, Indeed.com/lockedon. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application, pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed. We are back. Locked On Golden Knights, this Friday edition, heading into the weekend. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. WTF time. WTF. Last night, first intermission, George McPhee, a guest on TNT, and they literally got in, I think, three questions in about 10 minutes.
I saw your tweets about that.
Your guy, Eddie Olczyk, just was a microphone hog. One of his questions, it was about Jack Eichel, but it rambled on and on and on. And you could see where even McPhee was like, okay, let me talk. I'm the guest. I'm the guest here. And so, one of his questions, he had two questions of the three, I believe. And I thought that TNT was going to pretty much cut him off and tell him, I'm sure that they were in his ear last night. So WTF, Eddie Olczyk. And then WTF as well. I'm just going to go here, rapid fire, and then you can go. Are the Golden Knights, you talked about all the hoopla coming up. Sunday's ring day, I guess, for the VGK.
Private event, yep.
Yeah, and then I can't wait to see those rings. Are the Golden Knights going to do that? Tuesday night's going to be, there's so many distractions, you know. You have all the wagoos and the wags there in their ears. You've got the Golden Knights. They do the gold carpet again, right? They did that last year, and the guys were physically exhausted by the time they entered the arena. WTF, too much hoopla going on this week for the VGK. I know Cassidy's trying to tone it down. When you see that, he wasn't swaying. When you see that banner being raised, it shows the hard work that you put in. It's not a celebratory thing. It's just that it shows all the hard work. So no, there's no celebration. BS. WTF.
It's funny. It's going to be a long week for the Golden Knights, definitely. So here we go. Golden Knight fans, Monday nights, the Raiders will be honoring the Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights.
Wait. No. We don't. No one from the VGK side likes the Raiders.
Well, no one from the Raiders side supposedly gives a bleepity bleep about the Golden Knights either, depending on what side of the coin you're on and who you talk to. Just a reminder, Golden Knight fans, everyone was blasting the Raiders for not tweeting about the softball game and not doing enough for the Golden Knights during the Stanley Cup run and all of that. Well, now the Golden Knights are going to be honored during Monday Night Football for what's going to be a road game for the Raiders because there's going to be more Packer fans here. So that's a problem in itself. But, you know, the Golden Knight fans, relax a little bit with the Raiders. Like, the Raiders are who they are. I'm not saying anything great about the franchise. But point being is they're at least doing something. So just remember this next season when the Raiders don't tweet about the softball game, you know, but they still showed up for the game and they honored the Golden Knights. So just leave it alone. The Raiders are in Vegas. The Golden Knights are in Vegas. They're professional sports franchises. Just let them do their thing and don't flip out about their treatment of the Golden Knights, who they are going to be honoring Monday evening. WTF. Another quick WTF. Injuries. I put an article out on Vegas Hockey Now. Injuries, concerns, what's plan B? And the comments come firing in on Twitter and through Vegas Hockey Now about, oh, stop worrying about the injuries. It's preseason. It's not that big of a deal, blah, blah, blah. Folks, Zach Whitecloud was day-to-day with a little something, and he might not play until January, depending on some reports that are surfacing right now. William Karlsson quietly not playing all these games. Alec Martinez. Folks, it's October 6th. The season hasn't even started yet. We're talking about a team that has had a short summer, less days in the gym, and just all the things that accompany being a Stanley Cup champion. I'm not knocking any of the players. This is the toll. This is the price that is paid. So injuries are going to mount up. This is not going to be as easy sledding as everyone wishes and hopes it's going to be. So Golden Knight fans, just WTF. It's time to freak out a little bit.
Okay, let's go to some of our comments here off of the Twitter feed, X feed. WTF. This is from at Larry_D Street, Larry De Leon. WTF, is Tony actually in love with Bruce Cassidy, Kelly's eyebrows, and Wild Bill? He seems to talk way too much about them all the time. By the way, love
Is this
the
Carp?
show.
It sounds like Carp's burner right now.
WTF. Of the three, Kelly's eyebrows definitely at the top of my list. WTF.
Stop it.
Is you know who else is going to honor the VGK? Chandler Jones, I think. Chandler. Sorry, that was bad. WTF.
That's
go ahead,
so
man.
Bad. All right, so this might be the second time I've cited this comment here. So Duluth on YouTube, my favorites. Wild Bill, only player on the Knights who can win the Selke if they get him back to 30, 40 goals. There's one WTF right there in that first sentence. Eichel is one-dimensional who needs to score 40 or 50 goals, not play PK. There's another WTF. Talk about the face-off percent, blah, 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 blah. And then the last one. Bergeron won the Selke despite Cassidy. Like, W, come on. Like, what are we doing here? So, you got a hat trick of WTFs in that one. Marc-Andre Fleury, this is great last night. So, Connor Bedard gets an attempt in the shootouts, and the puck goes on edge. He doesn't get a great shot, but
it was bad ice. Like
yeah,
T-Mobile.
bad ice.
Did they play at T-Mobile?
Yeah, no, they're on 1407 West Madison Street, I believe. I think that's the address. Maybe it's 1600, whatever it is. It's right there on West Madison. But point being is, right as Bedard is thinking about pulling the trigger, he gets next to Marc-Andre Fleury. Fleury just dumps him. He stuck out his stick and dumped him. I think the attempt was over, so that's why the refs didn't call basically a penalty on Marc-Andre Fleury and give another shot to Bedard. And then Bedard is just looking over in disbelief, like at the ref, like, oh, what just happened there? Friggin' Fleury gives him a stick tap on the shin as he's skating away.
That was awesome.
It was a golden moment. It was
I thought it was like a nice try, kid. But
that's exactly what it was. It was the 7-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury telling the 14-year-old Bedard, hey, bro, better luck next time.
WTF.
And to be fair, Fleury's not razzing him or anything. I'm sure if they
after
the game, I'm sure they would have been laughing and had a lighthearted moment about it.
No, I really thought that was like, hey, good try, keep it up, or something.
It was Marc-Andre Fleury just being fun. It's Marc-Andre Fleury being one of the most fun and entertaining players in the NHL.
Good clip. WTF from at eRuns. Eichel needs to shoot the puck in the circle. We've got a good one from Harvey McCarthy. I didn't see this until he pointed it out yesterday. WTF is Yahoo posting playoff standings for preseason. So they have the preseason standings with points and everything, and like across the board. WTF.
Well, the Golden Knights are trying to get that last wild card spot. They're trying to get
Ottawa
WC2.
and Toronto are tied with 10 points apiece.
Do they get a banner? They get a banner?
WTF. I thought that was hysterical. I didn't see that previously.
Don't they do that in baseball, like the Grapefruit League? Don't they like play each other, or isn't there like a championship for the preseason?
I don't. Yeah, they used to do something, and they give a trophy, what have you. But that's silly to have preseason standings out there with point totals and your streak. How many games in a row have you won? Oh my God, streak! Oh, Ottawa 3-game win streak.
Oh boy, good job, Ottawa.
When they put the point totals in there, that was over the top. One final WTF. This is from at Sissifer TW Simpson.
What's up?
WTF is up with the ice at T-Mobile this preseason. The puck has been extremely bouncy this year. Hashtag WTF.
I don't know, Sissifer. Todd, I think you're getting a little antsy, Todd. Just relax. Get another spot. You got to buy the Red Wings one of my breaks. You'll be fine. Just get back in one of my breaks. You'll be good.
My favorite WTF of the preseason is the standings, though. You can't beat that. We appreciate everyone tuning in. Thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's Locked On Golden Knights, and especially our everydayers. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for putting this show way over the top. We've already exceeded all expectations for this year and for years to come, perhaps. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again Monday right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Take care.